as good as they could be for night football. Norwood went into this game with a 1-win, 4-loss record, and there were some rather unbecoming results in that record for a team that was in last year's finals. Their one win was against North in round 4 when they won by 29 points, but 4 losses and 1 win was not a good record for Norwood during the opening rounds of season 1984. Port, on the other hand, were at the top of the ladder, undefeated after 5 rounds. Their best performances were against West Adelaide in round 2, West Adelaide, of course, the defending champions, and Sturt in round 4 when they came from, or recovered from, a 5-goal deficit midway through that game. But night football can produce some unexpected results, and obviously a large percentage of the 20,000 people that went out to Football Park tonight were hoping for a competitive game, and Norwood didn't let them down. We're going to pick up the match 2 minutes into the first quarter. With me in the commentary position are Jerry Harrison and Darryl Hicks.
Norwood showing a lot of enthusiasm. They'll be out to try and get the first score on the board.
Number 6 for Norwood is Craig Baum, playing his first senior game, and that's Aish being interfered with. He'll get the free kick on the half-back line for Norwood. But they've shown plenty of endeavour in the opening 2 minutes of this quarter, going into the game with a dreadful record for a side that participated in last season's finals. The ball up towards centre wing, and the mark has been paid out there to Kelly. Kelly at left centre wing, being called to play on now as he went around on the mark down towards the half-forward line and dropping into the open space is Vardaniga, and he's taken the mark at centre half-forward. Now he's looking for a lead for Maynard. Maynard's been able to get away from Kennedy, and this could be a good tactic back there at full forward for Norwood. We've suggested all season that Kennedy's lack of pace could be exposed by a fast-moving player, and Maynard, while not blessed with express pace, certainly is a lot more mobile than the man he's standing. He's only 35 metres out, the first chance to score, and he's scored a goal, I think. Norwood have drawn first blood. They're 1 goal. Port have yet to score. We've played 3.5 minutes in the first quarter.
A surprise inclusion is a ruckman Baum about to contest, but he's got a free kick for an infringement with more than 4 in the square. Switches play to the right half-forward flank. Roberts behind the pack, never had a chance, but it's McCarthy roving well. Run down, set up Kelly, something awful. Got it back to McCarthy, however. Good hand passes on. Oh, it was badly delivered, looking for Thomas. And it's Kinnear getting the quick kick back to the centre. Bradley front spot. Hit away there down to McIntosh. He serves it back to Scanlon. And Norwood, a high ball directly towards the goal square. Maynard from behind hits the ground, taken by Kemp, given back to Kennedy. Plenty of time to chip away short and find Anderson inside half-back. He moves the ball quickly, as Port must do, setting himself Tony Giles between half-back and centre wing on the grandstand side. Port favoured with the breeze. A floating punt kick goes in. Ace from behind. Magnificent mark. And Michael Ace now to put Norwood forward from the centre wing position. Short looking for Gallagher. Unopposed, taking the mark. Ace backs up. There's the hand pass. And deep, well blocked. However, knocked on further by Kelly. Eludes McCarthy. Tapped down by Maynard. Was beautiful work. And McCarthy pops it through for Norwood's second goal. The Redlegs, 2 goals. Lead Port, no score. 5-minute mark first term.
And that's the Norwood little men coming into their best. It's Maynard's quick tap onto McCarthy. You saw the former Melbourne player run into the open goal to score Norwood's second at the 5-minute mark.
This is an enterprising opening by Norwood. 2 goals straight. Port have yet to score, and Norwood certainly taking it up to their opposition. That's Knight being caught in possession. Norwood with the free kick, and they're moving it on quickly from the half-back line down towards centre half-forward. Pack setting itself down there, and a good defensive mark taken by Leslie for Port Adelaide. The Norwood half-forward line is going to have to play a very defensive role when Port get possession. There's been an infringement behind the play. An illegal shepherd was committed or applied by Marnie on Roberts. As Leslie was breaking away, Marnie grabbed hold of Roberts, and so the player obviously was being held when not in possession. And here's Norwood with their third opportunity to score maximum points. Roberts is 40 metres out from goal. He's almost directly in front, but will take a good kick. He's kicking into the breeze, but he is a good kick, as we all know. 3 goals straight, Norwood. Port have yet to score. We played 6 minutes in the first quarter.
20 plays 1. Norwood lead. Kelly versus Johnston, the lad of the tap. Roberts snares nicely, floats a high ball in, little distance, plenty of height, down to ground, trying to work through there. McCarthy pulling it under. Kemp trying to get it out. A hand pass to no man's land, well handled by Giles. Long to Anderson, and Port Adelaide constructively out of defence. Anderson in looking for and finding Russell in the centre. Great mark, Russell. He quick to move the ball to the running Bradley, and Bradley's got a paddock to work in. There'll be a goal on the board, but behind play, Gallagher has been lowered by Clifford, and the ball will be brought back for a free kick for Gallagher. Gallagher playing on quickly, going out and finding Bruce Winter, who flashes a hand pass out to McCarthy. Plenty of time to steady, gets back around Stephen Williams. Another hand pass over to the backing up of the back pocket player for Norwood, well upfield, and Norwood trying to get through, held up by Giles now. Moving it over to Bradley. Kicked blindly, but goes for the hole at centre-half forward. Warhurst the mark, and Norwood are playing confident football.
Yes, we see the Port Adelaide side lifting, though. Norwood, a lot of run in the first 10 minutes of the game. Port now steadying in the back line and getting some confidence.
Michael Aney with the ball, working the ball out towards the outer wing. The target out there is Winter. He's covering a lot of ground from that back pocket. He's taken the mark safely for Norwood on that outer wing, and a good crowd in attendance now at Football Park, probably in the vicinity of 12 to 15,000 people, as the ball is carried over the boundary line in that left full forward pocket for Norwood. Port haven't had the ball inside their half forward line on too many occasions so far in this quarter. We're 12 and a half minutes into the term. Norwood are 3 goals to 20. Port 1 behind. Johnston getting front position in front of Baum. Aish was there. He overran it. A chance now as McCarthy gets the hand pass across to Warhurst. Warhurst was close to the boundary line and under pressure. Leslie going back, missed the mark. Thomas at the back of the pack for Norwood. Not a good kick, but a chance there for Roberts. Play allowed to go on. Norwood still in possession. This is Gallagher. He's looking for a lead. Maynard is the target. He was interfered with by Kennedy and will get the free kick. Now Dexter Kennedy is not too pleased with that decision, indicating, I think, that the umpire plucked it out of the darkness. But Maynard, who's kicked one already for Norwood, has the opportunity to kick his second and his team's fourth. He's only 25, 30 metres out from goal. It's not a particularly good kick, but it may have snuck through. But has. Norwood have got their fourth. They're 4 goals to 26. Port a 1 point. Part of the good crowd here at Football Park tonight for the first premiership game played under lights. Port trying to take the ball out of the pack. It's with Ross for Norwood. Aish has a chance. He's been opposed by Anderson. That's good football by Anderson. We need a lot more of it. As down goes the cameraman. In fact, it was the camera that was being used, as you can see. Port Adelaide will get a relayed free kick, and it's going to Kinnear. And that Port Adelaide player, Anderson, is in a lot of trouble after colliding with the television cameraman. Evans is the target as play goes on. A chance for Hine. His hand pass wasn't a good one. It was intended for Jarvis. Michael Aney is there, so is McIntosh. Good play, McIntosh, and Norwood get out of trouble. The ball coming back towards centre wing, but the kick has gone out of play on the full, and I have no doubt now that there will be an investigation into the practice of allowing television cameramen to run free along the boundary line.
Yes, everyone in the stand is on their feet trying to find out exactly what happened.
Harvey taking the ball back towards the half-forward line for Port Adelaide. The Norwood defence is there in numbers. Dickinson getting it to McIntosh. Wasn't such a good hand pass as Russell goes in on top of McIntosh. And Russell is indicating his frustrations now. And there is a nasty incident. It's on. This incident taking place on Port Adelaide's left half-forward flank. And Norwood are being standing up and being counted at the moment. They came to the scene very, very quickly. The player holding his face is Russell. It was he who gave away the free kick initially. It'll be interesting to see exactly what the umpires do here. Norwood were going to be awarded a free kick, but I think it'll go Port Adelaide's way because Russell certainly wore a good one. And he has the free kick at left half forward. Now perhaps that's just the type of incident, while we don't agree with it, that might lift Port Adelaide. Evans the target down there. This is Russell Ebert. His kick's offline, and there'll be a boundary throw in at right full forward for Port Adelaide. The match hotting up at the 22.5-minute mark. Norwood 5-2, Port Adelaide 3 points.
It's a traditional clash. Port Norwood, we expect this. Greg Anderson is off.
Throw in. Tap away by Port. Clifford couldn't get through the pack. A wall of players there. Finally barging clear. Stephen Williams has a shot at goal, but the umpire had blown the whistle prior to possession, and the ball will be brought back. And what appears to be a free kick paid. Anderson will be coming back onto the ground, so it was only an initial scare, as one might say. And good to see Greg Anderson back on the ground for Port Adelaide, is down in the forward pocket. We have a free kick to Marnie on a 45-degree angle. Only a 20-metre kick required, and finally Port Adelaide get their first goal on the board at the 24-minute mark. Norwood 5-2 lead Port 1-3.
Hine doing the ruck work for Norwood. He wasn't favoured by the bounce. It went straight to Harris. He in turn was claimed from behind by McCarthy. Kinnear and Gallagher, the two number 11s. Gallagher winning the race to the ball. Not a good kick, but he was under a fair amount of pressure. Danigo beautifully tackled. Still Norwood try and work the ball forward. That was intended for McIntosh. Kelly missed it. Ross at ground level. Kelly getting it out, but it's been intercepted by Anderson, and now Port Adelaide with a chance. Not a good kick, not a well-directed kick, and a clever mark taken by Winter. He had Michael Aney there in the last line of defence with him, who was obviously talking to him, and the Norwood defence has done it well again. Thomas. Now they've got Dickinson free, further up the wing. He's got 20 metres on Anderson at the moment, although no one wants to go to Thomas. That's intended for Dickinson, that kick, and it should find him. Norwood doing it well. Can they get another goal before the siren goes? We're into the time-on period in the first quarter. Dickinson looking for a player more centrally located. Maynard is the target. The fist that came from Kennedy, knocked further afield by Bradley, into the path of Craig Ebert. This is good football as it goes to Giles. Giles has Stephen Williams alongside him, and all of a sudden Porter in attack again. Michael Aney over the top, but straight towards Marnie, whose kick was intercepted by Winter, and again Norwood will get out of trouble. This is Jarvis, another Port Adelaide player down behind play. That was Marnie. It comes back towards Evans, beautifully smothered off the boot by Scanlon. We'll have a throw in at right full forward for Port Adelaide.
And how the level of play has lifted here. The crowd has lifted, and we've seen some really professional football.
Hine takes the front spot. The tap down, looking for McCarthy. Hine the hand pass in the end. Winter. No one to help. Run down, got it away, looking for Hellier. In there goes Craig Ebert. He's pushed over the line. And the umpire almost collected by Knight. In the night. But the throw-in will take place. Still in this left forward pocket at the lake end, to which Port are kicking, favoured by a slight breeze. The tap down, Clifford caught with the ball, tried to work it out there for Russell. He goes to ground, McCarthy goes with him, Russell trying to get up, sheer strength. Worked it to Harris under pressure, good kick. The falling Belton can't take it, but the umpire rules he was tackled high, and the ball will be brought back for a kick to be taken at centre half forward, and the player looks like Knight. Knight it is. The ex-Footscray player at centre-half forward, and certainly within scoring distance of goal. What breeze there is favours this end. He's directly in front, 45, 50 metres out. Certainly not beyond his kicking distance. And the Victorian recruit. Got in very close to the man on the mark, but it looks good. Second goal on the board to Port Adelaide, and Norwood 5 goals to lead Port Adelaide 2-4 at the 28-minute mark of this first term. And Johnston and Craig Baum do battle once more. Williams trying to get a quick kick. Ace ferrets it out. I went over to Warhurst. He tried to work it to Gallagher, but he's earned a free kick for being shoved into the ground. Or he passed one off to Dwayne Russell there as Russell tries to indicate to the umpire, and meanwhile Norwood now through Jarvis into the path of Bruce Winter, up from the back pocket to centre wing. He's got Daniga, but decides to go over the head of that player looking for Roberts, who has it knocked away well by Anthony Williams. Russell is dobbed out of the way, Harvey, and a throw-in now will take place in the left forward pocket. No, the umpire's ruled a free kick and kicks to centre wing.
The ball, in fact, coming off the Norwood player's boot and going out of bounds on the full. He was a little bit unfortunate. Leslie now taking it towards half forward. Fantasia's on the ground for Norwood. He was in front of the pack. This is Williams. Now it's with Bradley. Play allowed to go on. Players indicating a throw as it goes back towards half forward for Port. This is Jarvis. He was looking for Thomas. Beautifully smothered by Marnie. Here goes Marnie again. He's got Knight in support, and he's found that player. And if ever any player should excel here at Football Park, it'd be this man. He's used to playing under Knight. And he's only 15 metres out from goal and almost directly in front. Knight has already kicked one. This would be a handy goal for Port if he's able to convert. He doesn't miss too many. Port moved to 4 goals 4. They trail Norwood, who are 5 goals 2. We played 6.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Well, that goal's an exact result of the youngest player on the field. Wayne Marnie smothers the ball on the ground. Jarvis kicks. There's the Marnie smother. He centres the ball now to Stephen Knight, and Knight's in a perfect position to convert for Port Adelaide's fourth.
Kelly and Johnston. Johnston's tap again. Port trying to work it out with handball. They allow Leslie to come through. Chips to the centre wing area. Knight's there, trying to work it over nicely. Did it to Bradley. In turn, Giles. Up looking for Russell, who's clean bowled. The ball sits nicely. Sheer strength, Russell. Oh, well blocked by Hellier. Taken by Ebert. Oh, towards goal he goes. The sign of a champion. And Norwood, Port Adelaide hit the front. 6 goals to... 5-4 to Norwood, 5-2 at the 8-minute mark.
That's a beautiful tap on from Port Adelaide. Tony Giles with the long hand pass. The ball, there's Dwayne Russell, uses his strength, barges through. It's smothered off the boot, and there's Russell Ebert, lucky but straightens, and there's the perfect shot from the angle.
A remarkable reversal here by Port. They trailed by 16 points at quarter time. They've added 3 goals in the first 8.5 minutes of the second quarter. Norwood haven't scored one. Norwood now have the ball on their half-forward line, but that's only temporary. Harvey, the hand pass across to Leslie. Leslie's at right half-back. He's looking for something on the half-forward line. Knight was the player offering the lead, but a good defensive mark taken by Warhurst. He got rid of Marnie. That gentleman saw it. Back towards centre wing. Norwood doing it just a little bit better at the moment. This is Kelly.
And I'm surprised by the number of strong marks that are being taken overhead.
Kelly down towards Roberts. He's in the left full forward pocket. He got rid of his opponent very cleverly, the opponent being Williams. And Roberts, who is too far out to score, can at least set Norwood in motion again.
Been a good clash between Tony Williams and Neville Roberts.
Roberts would be a good 60 metres out from goal. He obviously thinks he can get the distance. It would take an extremely good kick from there. He's looking for something in a more central location. He conned Williams. He did it beautifully. Gets it across to Gallagher. Gallagher gets it to a teammate in Thomas. They're in trouble, Norwood. That's intended for Gallagher. He's deep in the pocket. Good defensive football by Port Adelaide. Anthony Williams was conned, but the rest of the defence wasn't, and they did it well. They're playing with renewed confidence. Boundary thrown at left full forward for Norwood. Johnston in front. The ball will run free to McIntosh. He should goal from there. He wanted to get back onto that other foot. He's missed. Norwood need goals. They move to 5-3. They trail Port, who are 5-4. 10.5 minutes into the second term.
We've got a top game of league football here at Football Park. Night football at its best.
Kick in comes from Kennedy. Kinnear from behind. Paid the mark. Kim Kinnear in opposition to Gallagher. Has this kick for Port Adelaide off the half-back line. And the Magpies lead by 1 solitary point. 10 minutes into this second term. Kinnear, the short pass, looking for Stephen Williams. Finds him at centre wing and Port away. On the run, good speed, floats the ball into the centre half-forward spot. Jarvis almost. Coming up and leaving it behind was Russell Ebert. Oh, Scanlon's hand pass was beautifully snared by Knight. Over the top to Evans, and goal number 6 on the board for Port. 6 goals for, they lead Norwood 5-3 at the 11-minute mark, second term.
What a beautiful reflex play this is. We see Russell Ebert over the ball about to be cleared by Scanlon. Suddenly Knight's in the situation. He runs in, creates the loose man, draws his opponent. There's Tim Evans, unopposed.
Port lead by 8 points. The kick towards the outer side of the ground. Anderson over the top. That's a good mark. He's got right on top of Dickinson. He's at left half forward for Port Adelaide. Evans loping across, but in front of the pack. I think that player was Knight again. He's suddenly become a very dangerous player. He's kicked 2 goals already. He's been a real opportunist. As you can see, if he hadn't been awarded the mark, he would probably have got the free kick because the pack rode him into the ground. And now Knight, from 25 metres out, has the opportunity to extend Port Adelaide's lead to 13 points. And we're just 13 minutes into this second quarter. And that's exactly what he's done. 3rd goal tonight. 7th to Port Adelaide, they're 7-5. Norwood a 5-3.
Johnston of Port Adelaide up against Balm of Norwood. Johnston winning out once more. McIntosh trying to give it to Gallagher. Ace beautifully works it out to Thomas, and Norwood into the hole. Centre half forward, the lead of Maynard. Well done, Kennedy, as he belts it out to the half back line. Down comes Anderson. Across comes Ross for Norwood. Cleverly past Leslie. Around Anderson. Steadies. Floats the ball to the goal. Roberts from behind in front. Williams has been paid the mark.
What a wonderful mark from Anthony Williams. The floating ball came in. He stood his ground in front to take the perfect mark. Well done.
Anthony Williams, last line of defence, a big screw punt. Out towards the line, up high Johnston, Balm from behind, but it's Kinnear. Floats one into the centre half forward, all Norwood, and Thomas the mark. Ace was there as well. Thomas chipping away, oh, he's set up Danica something awful. The ball goes to ground and Giles will clear for Port. Up they come, plenty of run the Magpies at the moment. Half forward left, Ebert up high, takes a good mark there in opposition to Widder. Ebert looking for the lead, Evans charges, Michael Annie with him. Good spoil by Michael Annie. Dickinson's there, hand pass to Jarvis on the wrong leg. Oh, almost got tagged, but it's to Anderson. He floats one in, Devon's in front, Port again. And everything falling into place for the Magpie as they lead by 14 points. 15 minutes played in the second term, and Tim Evans, who got a set-up goal a little moment ago, has won now from a 45-degree angle, only a 30-metre kick. The distance isn't a problem. Little breeze to contend with, and Evans has put it through for his second. Port march to 8 goals 5, leading Norwood 5-3, 15 and a half minutes second term. Jim Michaelani, the surprise opener at fullback. To that outer side and the lead of Hellier. The mark taken beneath the scoreboard. Deep in the pocket. Have gone a little downfield. Now a high ball. Good distance up to the centre wing area. Waller plays as Hine hits down to Ace. Michael Ace cleverly up to the half forward line looking for Kelly. It's a well-directed kick and the mark is taken deep at half forward right. But Norwood being forced to go indirectly towards goal. McCarthy pulls clear of the tackle. Gets it to Keith Thomas. He chips across and has found Fantasia within scoring distance of goal. So, James Fantasia fresh onto the ground. He replaced Dickinson at centre wing. On a 60-degree angle, distance oughtn't be a problem at all. And a goal which Norwood need badly. Have not had the two-way white flags waved this quarter. That's the first one. And Norwood moved to within 15 points on 6 goals 3, trailing Port Adelaide 8 goals 6, 19 minutes played in the second term.
He's a long way down from centre wing. In fact, that kick won't even reach his position. Mark being paid to Port Adelaide, and it will go to Leslie. Leslie at centre half back. Lead on in the centre of the ground. Gallagher should have done better. Harris moving the ball forward. A chance now for Port. Russell has it. He's looking for leads, and there's one on too. Ebert right out on his own on the left half forward flank. Scanlon was the player opposed to him. Just a little bit too low for Tim Evans. Gallagher across towards Ross. Now Michael Aney. That was beautifully read by Russell. He was the player that intercepted. Norwood under a lot of pressure on their half back line. Oh, a clever hand pass, a slick hand pass, and Port Adelaide doing it easily. This is Knight, he'll draw a player, give it to Evans, and Port Adelaide have got goal number 9. They're 9-6, Norwood are 6-3, 20 and a half minutes into the second quarter.
This quarter we've seen Stephen Knight create the loose man inside that half forward flank. This time there's excellent reflex play by Port Adelaide. The ball's across to Kinnear. He looks into the forward line, sees Knight all alone. He runs forward, the loose man, Tim Evans, unopposed, easy goal.
Jim Michaelani to the outer side in the lead of Hine. Badly dispatched kick, swooping Ebert, sets it up for Williams, who runs into an open goal and has put it through, and Port go on. 10 goals 7, leading Norwood 7-3 by 22 points at the 25-minute mark of the second term.
So at half-time, Port led by 22 points, and it was a great effort on their part to be in that position, remembering that they'd trailed by 16 points at quarter-time. But that 8-goal second quarter by Port certainly turned the game around. Well, Darryl Hicks is with me tonight, as he has been throughout the night at Football Park as well. And Darryl, did Norwood's opening burst surprise you as much as it obviously surprised Port?
Well, I think Coach Baum won the tactical battle, and when he put Michael Annick to fullback, Warhurst to centre half back and Maynard to full forward, he was obviously trying to counter some of Port, to attack Port's weaknesses. And the 5 goals that they kicked in the first quarter gave them a great chance.
Did you anticipate that opening from Norwood?
Well, they had to do something, didn't they? And I think that they banked on night football and the little man's game, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens now later in the game. But it's the incident 17 minutes into the first quarter between Warhurst and Russell that may have turned the game, because Port have kicked, 8 goals since that time.
Now, I was going to refer to that incident. Do you think that was the significant turnaround point?
Well, you never like to admit, especially as a coach, that an incident can cause that. But it certainly did ruffle the Norwood players, and it lifted Port, and it lifted that great Port crowd that was at the park.
It certainly wasn't an intentional incident, I don't think, do you? Because it started with Russell just roughing a player up.
There was sort of a bit of head-butting there. And then there was the second one, of course, when Anderson ran into a cameraman on the boundary, and in the stand, the crowd stood to see what had happened.
Well, what did you think at half-time, Darryl? Had Norwood run their race? Had they fired their best shot, or was it still a contest?
I thought they were still in it. I could see them in trouble with Aish being taken very strongly by Harvey, and what a great game he played. And they needed some key position players at centre-half forward. They needed Neville Roberts to get into the game in the forward pocket.
So the margin at half-time was 22 points in favour of Port Adelaide. Quite obviously, there was still a lot of football left in this match, and there were 20,000 people out there looking forward to the second half. So were we. Let's go back to the action early in the third quarter. With me in the commentary position, as I mentioned at the beginning of the game, Jerry Harrison and Darryl Hicks. 22 points in favour of Port Adelaide. That's the margin at the start of the third quarter, and Norwood really do need to lift themselves if they're going to get back into this game. This is Bradley from the centre circle almost, down towards the half-forward line. Winter out in front, and Norwood can now try and set something up from the half-back line. It's Scanlon's kick towards half-forward and Kelly. First back to it will be Ebert. Cross in the direction of a teammate. Williams is in there on the bottom of the pack for Port Adelaide. The umpire's whistle is gone, and it's Leslie who will get the free kick. Leslie is on the outer side of the ground here at Football Park. Down towards the half-forward line. Thomas for Norwood. There wasn't much happening on the half-forward line for Norwood in that second quarter. They'll really need to lift themselves. Chance here for Vardeniger. This is Johnston. And Russell in front. Warhurst. He and Russell have had an interesting duel. Not always above board. Kinnear. The lead was on from Ebert. He was underneath the ball. Knight running onto it at the back of the pack. He's got it about 35 metres out, and that was a good tackle applied by Scanlon. As a result, Norwood will get out of trouble. Winter across towards Michael Aney. He doesn't know what to do with it now. He's got Baum loose at centre half back. Now, Baum has got plenty of room in which to move, and Thomas loose on centre wing. Norwood working the ball around the outer side of the ground. That wasn't a particularly good shepherd by Warhurst. He could have made things a lot easier for his teammates further up the ground if he'd provided a little bit more assistance for Thomas. They'll have a boundary thrown at left half forward.
Yes, it's a very, very good man-to-man duel between Harvey and Michael Aish, and that's the reason that Aish has been so quiet.
Johnston of Port, the tap out the back, forcing through Leslie, but it's taken by Keith Thomas, back looking for McIntosh. Norwood through half forward, in looking for McCarthy, but a good mark taken by Kemp, the back pocket player for Port. Kemp will go that outer side. No breeze to speak of, perfect conditions for night football, and the back of the pack, Kelly, takes a good mark. Kelly lining up at centre half forward for Norwood in a side which was shoved around a lot, into centre half forward, knocked away by Anthony Williams, and leading in the race there is Craigie, but puts the ball into the path of Anderson, but Fantasia matches him with pace. Anderson the front spot, Fantasia the bounce. Anderson good control. Back to Harvey. off the half-back line, Port to the centre wing area. Up comes Knight, well defended by Hillier, and the throw-in will take place at centre wing.
Yes, one of the highlights of this game has been the man-to-man clashes, and Norwood forced to put Fantasia onto the wing when Anderson was showing too much dash for Dickinson early in the game.
Johnston and Barn. Stephen Williams through the pack to find the running Giles. Flanked by Bradley. The long shot going into the square, one-on-one battle and through for a goal. And Port Adelaide opened the score in the third quarter. 11 goals 7. They lead Norwood 7 goals 3. 3 minutes played in the third term.
See the ball thrown in. Quick kick away. Tony Giles takes possession. He's got Craig Bradley running. And once that beautiful balanced Bradley gets his eyes on goals, he's within scoring distance because Tim Evans holds Michael Annie to ground.
Johnston in ruck for Port Adelaide. 28 points is the margin. We're now 3.5 minutes into the third quarter. Norwood are going to have to react to this situation, and they're going to have to react quickly if they're to get back into the game. Johnston being opposed by Baum. Aish. Hasn't figured prominently since the first quarter. Aish. Anderson is there. With him Fantasia. And the applause and the acknowledgement of the teammates for Anderson. He really has fought very hard on that centre wing for Port Adelaide tonight. Kelly pulled off the kick. This is ineffective football on the half-forward line. McIntosh saw Giles. He's trying desperately, caught by Williams and has been penalised accordingly.
Gary McIntosh loves to break the tackle. On that occasion, the Port Adelaide players were there and put him to ground.
That's a well-weighted kick. Russell. He's at centre half forward. Evans is back at full forward. He's got a one-out duel on his hands with Michael Aney. Winter doubling back with him, Ebert. Knight's there too. This is Knight. Scanlon. Baum. I'm sure we'll have a bounce down. No, we won't. The player has been penalised, and Ebert will get the free kick. Knight will get the free kick. No, Ebert will get it. Knight was keen to take it. So would I be from that distance. No, Knight is going to get it. Well, the Norwood player was penalised for holding the ball. Neil Baum can't believe it, or doesn't want to believe it. And Knight will shoot from 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He's kicked 3 already. Now he's kicked 4, and Port have taken control. They're 12-7, Norwood are 7-3, 5.5 minutes played in the third quarter. Johnston doing the ruck work for Port Adelaide. It wasn't an effective knock. Williams on the bottom. McIntosh was the player going over the top as Marnie limps back towards the forward pocket. Johnston being opposed by Baum. Another bounce that favoured Johnston. McIntosh's hand pass to Gallagher was a poor one. Williams' kick towards the half-forward line is more effective. And a relayed free kick. Now the umpire has seen something from a long way back. They're called to play on. Ebert has it in towards the pocket. Knight, he couldn't keep it in play. And I would not be surprised if McIntosh has been reported.
McIntosh is a frustrated player. He's toiled for Norwood, just can't quite get things to run.
Boundary thrown at left full forward. Johnston being opposed by Baum. Comes down towards Ebert. That was Russell Ebert. Knight. Goal number 5. Port Adelaide moved to 13 goals 8. Norwood 7 goals 3. My word, he's an opportunist, is Knight.
The ball thrown in, Johnston over the top. Ebert, a quick kick towards goal, and there's Knight showing a lot of courage across the face of Michael Annie, and he's rewarded to run in for the left foot shot.
3 goals in the first 9 minutes of this third term. Port Adelaide well out in front as Michael Aish with the hand pass over to McCarthy. Back to Aish was sloppy, and in comes Kinnear. Drives in short and finds Ebert centre half ball. Russell Ebert now to the lead of Evans, who's got away from Michael Annie, left him for dead. Semi-trailer distance between them. And Tim Evans who has kicked 3 goals, 2 from gimmies right on the goal line from handballs from Knight. This one will at least test him in the kicking ability. No angle to speak of. 40-metre kick required. And Evans equal to the occasion. Number 4 for Port to lead. 14 goals, 8. Norwood 7-3. 10 minutes played in the third term. And one would expect Norwood might have to do some changes. Michael Annie is a positive one away from full back, but he's still there at the moment as it's down to Vardaniga. Quick action, dribbles one through half forward. Anderson swoops. Blind hand pass taken by Stephen Williams. Sheer strength, well smothered then by Lester Ross. And a throw in now at half forward right for Norwood.
Yes, I think you called it, Jerry. It's important now that Norwood makes some key position changes, and I think Michael Annie from full back, where hasn't done a very good job, made basic errors, to full forward or centre half forward would be a logical move.
Good grab by Vardaniga, feeds it to Lester Ross. Good balk, steadies, drives out now to the lead of Roberts and has found that player. And that's the first positive piece of football that Norwood have been able to put together for some time.
Here's the pass. Beautiful pass from Ross, and there's the champion forward pocket player, the goal sneak, Neville Roberts, and watch the professional goal kicker at work.
There's only one to this stage. Norwood down by 50 points as the kick from Roberts is on line, his second, but Norwood still trailed by 41 points, 8 goals, 3 to Port Adelaide, 14-11, 15 minutes into the third term.
.44 points is the margin in favour of Port Adelaide. They've taken complete control of this game. Have a bounce down on their left half forward flank.
An indication of the pressure and the influence of Anderson is that Keith Thomas has now been sent to centre wing to take the Port champion.
Bounce down at left half forward for Port Adelaide. Gallagher. Hine. Another chance for Gallagher. Kinnear and Scanlon going in on top of the ball. Kinnear gets the free kick. Bradley's loose, as he has been for the best part of the second half. He's about 20 metres in advance of the centre line for Port Adelaide. Michael Aney from behind Evans. Winter from in front. Chance for Ross with him, Marnie. Shepherding done by McIntosh. Wasn't very effective. Marnie finished up with the ball. Russell, the Norwood defence paying a little too much attention to the Port Adelaide forward line at the moment, and as a result the free kick has been awarded to Russell. McIntosh gives up a resigned flop as he lands on his back, and Russell will shoot for goal from 30 metres.
That's the second decision that umpire Thorpe was given within 15 metres of goal, and the Norwood crowd starting to query his decisions.
Russell, the only thing he'll have to be wary of, I think, is not to trip over that bottom lip, and it's not that he's sulking. He's been involved in 1 or 2 heavy clashes with his immediate opponent, Warhurst. He hasn't kicked a goal so far tonight. He's rectified that situation. Port Adelaide get their 15th, they're 15-12. Norwood are 8-4, 22 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Throw in, Kelly attacking there, but Port Adelaide through Leslie. Sheer strength into the path of Anderson, was well dispatched. Keith Thomas versus Anderson, but this player is tremendous. Reflexes, coordination, positive plays, got the lot, puts it in looking for Russell. Russell versus Warhurst. Ebert went through, but Warhurst beat them both. Out looking for and finding Fantasia. He's got a paddock to work in. A lead from Roberts. And a shockingly dispatched kick. Oh, Kemp could have gone in for that, but Maynard there. Kennedy is grabbed around the neck, and the umpire rules that he threw the ball away. Free kick for Norwood. Within scoring distance of goal for one Neville Roberts. 2 to his account. And Norwood certainly need about 22 alongside that name to bridge this gap. A 50-point lead to Port Adelaide. Roberts, 50 metres out, no angle to speak of. Distance there, accuracy likewise. The 9th goal, Norwood 9-4. Trailed Port Adelaide 15-12 by 44 points at the 25-minute mark.
Centre square infringement at that bounce down, and now Norwood starting to get the breaks. Hine will take the free kick. Port Adelaide had too many players in the square. He's wrong-footed Bradley. He won't do that too often, I wouldn't think. Roberts in front again. Good mark.
It's a hard man to keep down for a whole game. Anthony Williams has worn him like a skin all night. Roberts now coming up, looking for his third.
Looking for goal number 4, in fact. And he's going to shoot from about 40 metres out. A spate of goals here for Norwood if he can convert. It's a good kick. It's a very good kick from Roberts. Good carry. Norwood start to make some impression on the scoreboard. They move to 9 goals 4 to 10 goals 4. Port of 15-12.
27 minutes played in this, the third term. Hine showing good agility. McCarthy flaps it out to Ross, to McIntosh. A good screw punt, good carrier through the half-forward area, and Roberts again. Centre half-forward. Magnificent use of the body. Oh, he can't do that, but he has given it to Gallagher on the run, and Gallagher's missed. But he wasn't behind his mark when the ball went on, and Norwood trailed by 37 points.
Port Adelaide 15-13, Norwood 10-5. Port Adelaide lead by 38 points at the start of the last quarter. Norwood really do have to produce a superhuman effort. And that's not the start they needed. McIntosh penalised for holding the ball. He was a little bit stiff, I thought. But as a result, Port will go forward through Russell. Port exerting immediate pressure. Belton, Michaelini in front. He hasn't had the better of Evans tonight, despite the fact that Evans has kicked only 4 goals. He probably could have kicked more. He had more opportunities in the first term.
No.
Vardeniger, cross towards a teammate, McCarthy. Aish has taken a player out behind the game. The umpire said it was legitimate. He's gone on to settle players down. I think it's Marnie who's down. In the meantime, Kelly has the ball. Now Baum goes in on Harvey. That's the player who was felled. The umpire was right on the scene and ruled it totally legal. Norwood go forward with a kick from Kelly. The long arms of Dexter Kennedy go up to take the relieving mark. Marnie is getting to his feet very slowly. Kennedy bringing the ball around the members' side of the ground. Kelly getting mixed up there with Russell. And they have a boundary throw in on left half forward. Aish incurring the displeasure of the Port Adelaide crowd. And Bradley as McIntosh comes across to have a word. There you see Marnie in the hands of the trainers and the Port Adelaide doctor. Kinnear towards half forward, Knight in front. That's a clever mark. He's a lot shorter than his opponent. That's Hellier. A 15-metre penalty tonight. Now Norwood would not want to concede a goal in the opening minutes of this final quarter if they're to have any chance of winning it. Port Adelaide have got players loose. Bradley, he's got Ebert loose. Oh, this is not good checking by the Norwood defence. Thomas is on the mark. And Bradley coming in and offering a few words of advice to his captain coach. He's suggesting that he can get the distance. He's about 50 metres out from goal, Russell Ebert. He's kicked 1 so far in the game. That's not a good kick. Norwood trying to work the ball up onto the half-back line. We'll have a bounce down midway between right half forward and right full forward for Port Adelaide.
Courageous effort, Wayne Marnie. We saw them last week against Torrens. He really went down hard, but he's up and at it again.
Early part of this third term, Baum the tap away. Hellier out of the back pocket trying to work it to Jarvis and tackled before the ball was over the line. And the kick will be taken by Andrew Jarvis in this back pocket for Norwood. The Redlegs down by 38 points. To the half-back area. Oh, there's a wall of players there, but a good mark coming in from behind is Leslie, and he's put a solid contribution in from centre half-back. Port always on the run. Craig Ebert. Kemp. Half forward they go with a high ball. Charging down was Tim Evans, but at the bottom of all that was Russell Ebert with the most magnificent judgment of the flight of the ball, and he goes back directly in front of goals 40 metres out. 1 goal kicked in the second term. Tim Evans leading, ignored by Ebert. He's got the distance, also the accuracy. He's second, Port Adelaide 16-13, lead Norwood 10-5, 3.5 minutes into the final term.
Port Adelaide lead by 44 points, 4 minutes into the final quarter, and I'd suggest that that gap is too great for Norwood to bridge, certainly in the judging on the way they've played since quarter time. Baum has it. They're scrambling the ball forward. Kelly, in fact, they're scrambling it backwards at the moment. McIntosh, that's better. That's more creative. Gallagher. Fantasia's out on the right half forward line. They're still indirect. Gallagher going past him. He's in the right full forward pocket and under enormous pressure. A chance here for Maynard. He's had a lean time since that first quarter when he kicked 3 goals. His tally's still only 4. Port bring it away, but not for long. It's with McIntosh. He's just inside the half-forward line, but I think he's out of kicking distance. He's going to have a shot. That's Roberts. And Roberts is the player offering the lead. McIntosh will go for distance. Kennedy thumping the ball away. It goes straight to Kelly. What's he done? It's a much-needed goal to Norwood. They're 11th. They're 11-5, trailing Port 16-13. We've played 5 minutes in the final term.
Next to Kennedy, comes out of the back pocket, chipping away short, finds Belton, and Port Adelaide making the ball work. Up over half forward, Baum from behind, a good grab.
He's been a good player at the bounces. Probably he's even with Johnston, but around the field, Johnston's the better player.
Good distance into the space at centre half forward. Maynard cleverly back between 2. Drives a floating kick towards goal, and it's home for all money. 5 on the board to Maynard, but Norwood 12-5. Trail Port Adelaide 17-14, 13 minutes into the final term.
39 points is the margin. Port Adelaide in total control, despite that last goal from Norwood. We're at the 13.5-minute mark of the final term, so I doubt that there's time left for Norwood to do anything. That's Giles caught in possession, and he's going to be penalised accordingly. Not making a genuine attempt to get rid of it, in the opinion of the umpire. The free kick is with Gallagher. Gallagher from in the centre circle. Not a well-directed kick. Made it very awkward for his teammates. McIntosh a chance. McIntosh looking for 15 metres. Now looking for someone going past. Scanlon. Jarvis. He's a long way down from the back pocket. Johnston up. Chance for Van Daniken across towards Maynard and off the ground by Kelly, I think it was. McCarthy. And another goal to Norwood, and now a fight. That's McCarthy, the goal on the bottom of the McCarthy, the goal kicker on the bottom of the pack. Players sorting themselves out.
A 33-point lead to Port as Johnston goes in again. The tap down, Keith Thomas beautifully looking for Dickinson. Oh, he ran into Gallagher. Through goes Big Baum trying to force his way through. Keith Thomas to McIntosh. He's shepherded well by Dickinson, and a good pass finds Maynard. And Norwood finally putting a string of play together. Maynard 5 goals has been a big plus at full forward. The Redlegs having thrown this side around. Maynard within distance. Fires it high and long, a floating kick but effective. Goal number 6, and the Redlegs trail by 27 points, 14-5 to Port Adelaide 17-14.
Norwood have kicked the last 3 goals. They're refusing to lie down. 27 points the margin. We've played 16.5 minutes in the final quarter. Chance for Kinnear to work the ball forward. Everyone went without it except Knight. He's been a very good player tonight. This is Warhurst from the half-back line for Norwood. Kelly is the target. He's got Leslie opposed to him. Norwood have the numbers at the fall of the ball, but they went without it. McCarthy was the offender, and now Anderson can break it up. He's got Kinnear 20 metres on his own. Good hand pass to Bradley. Bradley's at right half forward. Port Adelaide have steadied, I feel, in this mini-crisis. Will the mark be paid? It will be. The mark to Russell has been paid in the goal square, and now a 15-metre penalty. There you see the replay. Well, he only really grabbed it the first time before Winter knocked it away, but the mark has been awarded, and this will be the straw, I'm sure, that will break Norwood's back. They've got to within 27 points. They've worked hard to get that close. And now Russell, who's kicked only 1 goal so far in this game, kicks his second. Port moved to 18-14, Norwood a 14-5. We've played 17 and a half minutes in the last quarter.
"18-minute mark, final term. Port by 33 as Harris tries to set them alight again. He's in the play, but Thomas the tackler, and the umpire has ruled a stalemate. A repeat performance at the centre circle. Port Adelaide 30 points down midway through the first term. Big revival and in complete command currently. Harris the big thump forward. Bradley the run. Through half forward. In pursuit is Scanlon, but Bradley to the goal square and into touch for a throw in 5 metres from the left behind post. No, the umpire's ruled it's out of play on the full. Deep in the back pocket. A kick in from Hellier. High ball, not all that much distance. Keith Thomas has spilled out the back as the kick comes back in from opponent Anderson. Wall of players up there trying to get out as Knight. Goes to ground, Hellier's with him. The tackle applied, the ball trying to be worked clear. Winter goes to ground. Marnie there, Knight also, Hellier tackles, and finally the throw in 20 metres around from the left behind post of Port.
There's the Port bench. I think they realise that they've got this game pretty well sewn up. Baum getting mixed up with Russell, 2 very strong men there. This is McIntosh. Norwood getting out of trouble for the time being at least. The ball is in the centre of the ground. Fantasia is there. Port in possession. Here they go again. Kinnear's loose, my word. Dickinson's not checking on that member's wing. Evans in front. Michael Aney from behind. That'll be a mark in my book. Michael Aney from the left full back pocket. Port 18-14, lead Norwood 14-5. Kept there with Dickinson. Dickinson towards the half-forward line. Aish. Harvey getting it clear to Belton. He went without it. In comes Aish. Good tackle. Here go Port again. Bradley was being held. Play allowed to go on. Well done, Bradley. Russell. Giles. He wants to get into the act. He saw Leslie kick a goal. This is Harvey. Great football by Port Adelaide. Knight it was, not Harvey. He's kicked his 6th goal. Port 19-14, Norwood 14-5. And the eventual margin was 43 points in favour of Port Adelaide. But let's check the quarter-by-quarter scores. At quarter time, Norwood led by 16 points. At half-time, it was Port Adelaide by 22 points after that 8-goal second quarter. By three-quarter time, they'd stretched their lead to 38 points. And then the final score, Port Adelaide 20 goals, 14, 134, defeated Norwood 14 goals, 7, 91. The final margin, 43 points in favour of the Magpies. The main goal scorers for Port Adelaide, Knight kicked 6, Evans 5, Russell Ebert 2, Russell and Marnie also got 2. For Norwood, Maynard kicked 6, Roberts 4 and McCarthy 2. And Darryl Hicks's best players in the game for Port Adelaide, Anderson, Knight, Harvey, Bradley and Leslie. And for Norwood, Maynard, Roberts, Warhurst and McIntosh. Well, a most entertaining game, particularly during the first half. Norwood fought back in the early stages of that last quarter, couldn't quite go on with it. Darryl, what did you think was the big difference in the final analysis?
Port's balance, their awesome power and pressure, and surprisingly, from my point of view, the speed with which they move the ball through the midfield. They've got a lot of skillful players now. Greg Anderson, I thought was best on ground, Craig Bradley, and then Stephen Knight in the second half.
Despite the fact that there was 43 points, the margin, the final margin, it was a pretty tough game, wasn't it?
Oh, there was a lot of There were some behind-the-play incidents, and we identified in the first quarter an incident between Warhurst and Russell that may have had a big effect upon the game.
One of the things that impressed me about Port, both as a team and as individuals, was the way they reacted to those particular incidents that you're referring to.
I think also, too, when young Marnie went down with a very heavy clash with Michael Aish, I noticed that the Port players were on the spot.
and they were protecting him. And Russell Ebert's effect on the ground as the playing coach, I think now is starting to pay dividends with inexperienced players.
Well, Darryl, that's twice now that we've seen Port recover from difficult situations in what were important games to them. Firstly against Sturt when they were 5 goals down. They were 5 goals down again tonight, and surely they're the signs, those types of fight back, the signs of a very good team.
Yes, that makes them a good side, and I think having Johnston back, they missed him last year, and Dwayne Russell at centre-half forward and Martin Leslie at centre-half back, and Dexter's doing a good job at full-back, even though he lacks a bit of pace and the crowd jump on his back. He's doing a good job for the Magpie.
What did you think of Norwood's performance?
Pretty poor. Apart from the tactical advantage that they gave their side early, they really do need some key position players. They're missing Greg Turnbull from last year, and they're missing, of course, the big fella, Neil Button, at centre-half forward. They're going to have to introduce a lot more juniors into their side. They've been caught old, and they're now lacking some confidence. And I think the opposition sides are countering their prime movers.
They've got a few players out through injury. Can they use them as an excuse for the plight that they're in at the moment?
Not really, no. I don't think Norwood would want to do that. They're too proud a club. And they tried everything tonight. You've got to give it to their selectors. They put the first 5 goals on the board, and against a lesser side, that would have been enough.
One final question. What did you think of the first night game played for premiership points?
I thought it was fantastic. There was atmosphere. Perhaps the crowd were a little late getting to the game, and it was difficult to get in, but what a wonderful experience for the players. And what about young Marnie at 16 playing in a night game in front of such a crowd? That must have been a great experience.
It's certainly a great place for night football in the South Australian competition.
It has its place in the football calendar.
Darryl, thanks very much for joining us for tonight. We've made a bed up for you out in the make-up room because I don't think you've got time to get back to Salisbury to turn up again by 5:30 tomorrow night. Comments there from Darryl Hicks, and that completes our coverage of what was a most entertaining game at Football Park tonight. The first night game played in South Australia under lights, of course, as it normally would be if it's played at night, for premiership points. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. It resulted in a win to Port Adelaide, a very convincing win, and obviously they're going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the remainder of the competition this season. Another disappointing performance from Norwood. Let's hope that they can get their act together for the sake of the competition in the next few weeks. We've got a full league football action program for you tomorrow night at 5:30. We'll have highlights from 3 of the games that are to be played tomorrow, and of course we'll feature a quarter from the VFL. I hope you can join us then. That's 5:30 tomorrow night. Good night.